Hey class, welcome to lesson 3.7, equations of lines in a coordinate plane. This is pretty much a review, but an important review, so you may use this video quite a bit. Here's the first page. Oh, and this one might take a little bit more than one video, so watch for part 2. All right, an ordered pair describes the location of a point on a coordinate grid. That's true. An ordered pair can be written as x-coordinate, y-coordinate, or y-coordinate, x-coordinate. That's false. An ordered pair for the origin is 0, 0. That's true. Definition, the slope m of a line is the ratio of the vertical change rise to the horizontal change run, and there's a slope formula you can use right there. Make sure you don't mix up your x's and y's or your rise and your run when you're doing the slope. I think I'm going to skip this vocabulary. That doesn't seem very important. But this is a good review right here. Draw a graph with each of the indicated slopes. If it has a positive slope, that means it's increasing. And that would look like that. If it has a negative slope, that's a decreasing situation. That would look like that. If it has 0 slope, that means it's horizontal line. That would look like that. And if it has an undefined slope, that's a vertical line. There is no run for the rise. So undefined has 0 run. 0 slope has 0 rise. All right, finding slopes of line. If we look at this diagram, we can see the slope of line A. We have these 2 points. We have the point 1, 3, and we have the point -2, -3. And using the formula, the slope is the difference in the y values divided by the difference in the x values, which would look like -3 minus 3 divided by -2 minus 1, which is -6 divided by -3, which is 2. So the slope of this line is 2, and we can just check that. If I put in points here, I'll notice that there's a rise of 2 for every run of 1. And that means the slope is 2. The other line, line B, they didn't give any lines, but one thing we know about a flat line is that there's 0 slope. And you could check that by using points if you want. The y value is -2 for every point on this line. So pick any 2 points. So 1, -2, 3, -2. And if we take those 2 points and put them in the slope formula, we get -2 minus -2 divided by 3 minus 1, which is 0, divided by 2 is 0. So 0 slope. Here we're going to take the points 2, 3, and 5, 7. So 2 and 5 are the x values, 3 and 7 are the y values, and that equals -4 divided by -3, or 4/3. And that's for line A, which is this line here. And we can see that there's a rise of 4 for every run of 3 between the points on that line. We learned 2 forms. Actually, we learned more than this, but we're going to review 2 forms of linear equations: the slope-intercept form of a line and the point-slope form of a line. This one here is the slope-intercept, and this one here is the point-slope form. you can quick review those, pause it, and make sure you know what you need for each of those equations. Both of them require the slope. One of them requires a y-intercept. The other requires any point on the line. So thinking about those forms of the equation, we can use those to graph the equation. If I look at A, y equals 1/2 x minus 1, this is written in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope, so we know the slope is 1/2. And we can think of the 1 as the rise and the 2 as the run. And then the y-intercept is, if we put this in the form y equals mx plus b, by adding -1, we can see that the y-intercept is -1, which means the point 0, -1 is on the graph. So I'm going to graph that point 0, -1. Then I'm going to use the slope 1/2, using 1 as the rise and 2 as the run. So that means I need to go up 1 for every 2 I go across. And I can generate some points that way. Draw a line through those points. That slope. And that's how I can graph that. Now the second one is written in point slope form. Go ahead and label that one. That line A. Line B is written in point slope form, which is y minus y1 is equal to the slope times x minus x1, quantity x minus x1. So we can see from this, that my y1 value is 2. My x1 value, I'm going to have to change this to the form yx minus -4 to see that the x1 value is -4. So my x1, y1 is equal to -4, 2. And my slope is -2 squared, -2/3. So I'm going to graph the point, -4, 2. That point is right there. Then I'm going to use the slope, -2/3. I'll use -2 as the rise and 3 as the run. So that means I'm going to drop 2 for every 3 I go across. Drop 2 for every 3. And then I'm going to draw a line through those points. And that is graph B. All right, so if you get it, if you want to graph y equals 3x minus 4, the form that this is written is slope intercept. Written as a fraction, the slope is 3/1. 1 point on the graph is 0, -4. That's the y-intercept. From that point, move 3 units up and 1 unit to the right. So we're going to go ahead and graph that. We're going to put a point at the y-intercept, 0, -4. We're going to go up 3. And so the rise is 3, the run is 1, put another point, rise at 3, run at 1, put another point, and so on. And then we're going to draw a line through those points, like that. And we've just graphed the equation y equals 3x minus 4. what is an equation in slope-intercept form of the line with slope 2 and y-intercept 4? So slope-intercept 4, that would be y equals mx plus b. We need to know the slope, and we need to know the y-intercept, at least the y value of the y-intercept. On A, we are given that the slope is 2, and we are also given the y-intercept is 4. So we can just write, we can substitute 2 for m and 4 for b, and we get y equals x plus 4. For part B, what is an equation in point-slope form of the line that passes through the point 3, -7 with slope of -1? And that form is y minus y1 equals the slope times the quantity x minus x of 1. And in that form, m is the slope, and x sub 1, y sub 1 is a point. So, in this case, we have the slope is -1, and the point is x sub 1 is 3, and y sub 1 is -7. So we're going to substitute those in, and we get y minus -7 is equal to the slope, which is -1, times the quantity x minus the x coordinate. And just to clean that up a little bit, simplify it a little bit, I'm going to just write y minus -7 as y plus 7 equals -1 times quantity x minus 3, and that's point slope form. So if you get that, and you want to write the equation of a line with slope -1/2 and y-intercept 2, we know the slope is -1/2. We know the y-intercept is 2. And we need an equation of a line, so I'm going to use, since I have the slope and the y-intercept, I'm going to use the slope-intercept form. And the equation, I just need to substitute for m and b. So I get y equals -1/2 x plus 2. At this point, I'm going to stop the video. We'll call this the end of part 1, and then the next video will be part 2.